Growing up in Plainfield in the 60s, there was a lot of turmoil going on at the time. I went to school, but I really didn't participate in there because I used to go out in the parking lot and sell weed. So I used to do that and drinking beer. I really didn't like it, but the effect was like, it took me outside of myself, so I didn't have to feel.
We all had a hard time. He was adult before I knew it, and out on his own.
I was on like every wing in the county jail in Union County. I started, it was like a cycle, and I couldn't get out of it. I was like stuck. But all of it stemmed from my using. So I ended up leaving Plainfield and I ended up in Newark. And then I ended up selling my car for drugs. And then I ended up sleeping on a church step.
My daughter called me and said, "Mom, guess who's out here on the street?" And I said, "Who?" She said, "Ma, Gregg." I was shocked.
Addiction is something that starts off spiritually, that is very much spiritually driven, a hunger, a thirst, a desire, but we look for it in the wrong ways.
I used to walk around with my backpack, and I used to feel so invisible. And I hated it, because I hated like how I ended up like that.
One day I was at Penn Station in Newark. A gentleman walked up to me and started speaking to me, and I finally looked at him because at that point he was beaten down, and I really didn't recognize him until I took a closer look at him. And once I took a closer look at him, I saw that it was Gregg.
I spotted him, and I was like, I'm going to hit this guy for some money. And he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I'm all right." And he said, "No, you're not."
We got to a conversation about him coming back to the mission, trying to reclaim his life. We parted ways, and a couple of seconds later I said, "No, I need to try to get him up there now." And I searched for him, I couldn't find him. Little did I know that he was sleeping on the steps of a church, block and a half, 2 blocks away from where I lived.
This particular time I was coming across the street because I smelled the barbecue going on and my stomach was growling. And the lady must have heard it when she got up to me and she was like, "Baby, you all right?" And I said, "Yeah." So this lady had a band on her arm, and she took it off and gave it to me. And then she said, "Go in there and get something to eat." You know, I was like always praying, like I want, trying to make a decision to stop this madness. And then Marvin pops up. He said, "Man, why don't you try to go back in the mission?" And I was like, "Man, that's the best idea."
He was ready to come back. He really, really wanted recovery.
My conversion was when I came here, I surrendered. And what I'm learning from that, surrendering, I don't lose when I surrender, I win. And here they was asking me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I said, "I want to be a chaplain." I went to school and now I'm a chaplain. And then they kept asking me questions, "What else do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to become a peer recovery specialist." So I went to school and I'm a peer recovery specialist. And I'm getting like different letters behind my name. Before I used to have prison numbers.
I see him expanding our reach into the community in ways that we couldn't imagine when we first brought him on to be outreach chaplain.
When I go out on the street, people know me from here. And I let them know, like, I see you. You're not invisible. This place here is my family. When my daughter passed, nobody in my family showed up, man. People in the mission. And they were so supportive. Couldn't believe it.
Despite a lot of the tragedy that he has been through, he has incredible hope in Christ. And so he shares that with other people who need that hope.
Market Street Mission has turned his life around, I'm telling you. Feels wonderful because now I have a son.
Gregg has done marvelous work up here, and everybody up here appreciates him and respects him. I'm very proud.
That's important to me. These guys in here is important to me. I feel like I belong. I feel free.